Okay guys, welcome to another video by me where I talk over some shit. Now this isn't gonna really be a video talking about Ultron's abilities. I'm gonna talk about why Ultron is good and why you should ignore the hate. He's got a lot of hate around him. I don't know, whoever I've seen reacting to Ultron have been they've been very negative, and I'm here to shine a bit of light as to why he might not be as bad as some people might think. And we do have a video in the background to showcase Ultron's abilities. There are many videos out there that will showcase this as well, but I will go over them with you as well. So before we talk about anything, let's just go ahead and start the video and I'll talk when I have to. The way he shoots is he shoots, then pops. Shoots, then sends out a popping little high damage, like a last final shot sort of thing. The cool thing about this is he's a hit scan. So he's going to be very good at taking down targets that are flyers immediately. So, characters like Storm that just got a buff are going to be used a lot more. Iron Man and, whoever else you could think of that's a flyer, they're going to have a really hard time when Ultron's in the game. And he also does a good chunk of damage with the way he shoots. But that is not all. He also has pretty much infinite range. I don't know if it's actually infinite or if it's super long, but pretty much it's infinite. It goes almost, there's no damage drop off whatsoever. These are already quite disgusting attributes that he's already got in his kit. It's looking good so far. As you can see, he's just melting out the storm. It's going to be very hard for those flyers that fly around slowly to get away, especially the Human Torch. He flies around so slow. He's been such a menace for a while too. So, like I said, this is just great for the game, I feel like, because now the supports can also help with those flies, because usually it's the supports yelling at their DPS saying, hey guys, go for a hit scan, hey guys, go for it, pick Hela, pick Punisher, Let's be honest, no one's really... support players aren't really that skilled enough to play Mantis and get land headshots and stuff, so, they would just divert all to their DPS. And before you get offended by that, I also made support, so, be quiet. I feel like Ultron's, landing these hits are going to be very easy, because it's like a beam and then that burst. He just does a high chunk of damage, and it's a hit scan, and it has infinite range. It's going to be super good. Now, over here, we see his escape ability. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that is the fastest, movement I've seen on any flyer on this game. Iron Man doesn't fly as fast as that when he's, activating his flying ability, whatever you want to call it. Storm definitely doesn't. The Human Torch definitely doesn't. And that is just an insane escape ability. We can watch it again and you guys can see exactly how fast he gets away. He immediately, it's like he immediately jumps backwards. It's like a little jetpack thrust. And then he gets a speed boost after that. And he gains a shield too. As you can see here, if you watch this again, as soon as he activates it, he gains a shield. As well as what it looks like a boost to his movement speed. So he's got something in his kit that's going to help him survive. Now, this is where the negative begins. So, Ultron has only one way of healing in his kit. Okay, just one. It's where you place this bot onto a target. So right now he placed it onto his Doctor Strange. Right, that's why the Strange got the marker in it, because he placed it onto Doctor Strange. And it just gradually heals that target slowly over time. Issue here is it's very slow. However, if it was super good and OP, then that would be cheating. So with other videos that I've seen, with people reacting negatively to Ultron, I feel like a simple tweaking to the damage numbers and the healing numbers will fix Ultron's kit completely. Apart from that, his kit is actually very good, and I feel like he is going to benefit the game a lot. But let's go back to this drone ability. So you only can heal one target at a time, and it is gradual and it is slow. Okay, now let's talk about the pros and cons. Cons being obvious, is very slow. It's going to seem somewhat ineffective, especially if that target is, if your friend is being targeted by multiple allies, they're just going to shred through it as if the robot is not even on him and healing him. That is going to cause you to get flamed in your games and say, oh, I need more healing. Oh, we need another healer. Get the fuck off Ultron, I can really see it happening, and it's going to definitely happen with Ultron's kit at the moment. That is why I believe he's going to be a very good third healer and not just the second healer, but we'll get into that in just a bit too towards the end. Yeah, this bot kind of sucks a bit, kind of heals slowly, cool, okay. But the good side about this little bot or droid or whatever you want to call it, you don't have to look at that teammate ever again. Now, I don't know if you know this, but playing a healer isn't fun. It isn't the most fun role. There's so many times when you get flamed for not healing someone when they're just clearly being a monkey and they're diving into the backline when they shouldn't be, and they're just spamming in, I need heals, whereas it's like, no, you don't need heals, you need a brain, okay? Because clearly you don't have one. It's it's the healer's job to heal you, but if you're also taking so much damage that even Jesus Christ can't heal you, then at that point, it's your fault, man. You gotta start looking at yourself. However, back to the topic. I'm getting sidetracked again. The point I'm trying to make is it's not the most stress-free environment to play as a healer, because you always feel like your ult, for example, if you time your support ult wrong as a healer, right, you're pretty much gonna throw the game. You have to make sure you time these ultimates correctly to counter their DPS ults and stuff like that, and it's pretty stressful, and especially with some characters where it's really hard to heal and to land your hits. For example, I'll give an example, I don't know, like Luna, like Invisible Woman, it might not be the easiest to heal all the time. You might miss a few shots here and there, You do have to actually play the game. I know for supports and for healers, that's good. That's a pretty hard concept to understand, that you actually need to aim to you know, be good at this game. But, you know, it's not the best experience. But then there's characters like Rocket, you know, where you don't need to look, where you're stress-free. The Mantis, where you just place that shit on. And then add the Morlock, where you just press a button and it just bounces around and you just heal the whole team up. You know, they're stress-free healers. What I'm trying to say is Ultron is a stress-free healer. Place it on the guy. Never worry about that guy. You shut that guy up. Because if he complains, mate, I placed the heal button on you anyway. Like, what more do you want me to do? This is all my kit off. You can't really. So that's the only pro I can see about this robot. Now, another thing that this robot does do as well is Ultron actually used his other ability over here, like right underneath here. I don't know if you can see it. It's like a little square shield. You'll see it. Let me go back. So, right here. He is using his first ability. Now, what this does is, as you can see, look, there's like a circle around these teammates. So, when you use this ability, you will grant a shield to whoever's around you and whoever's around the robot. That is why they just gained that shield, because he activated that ability. So, the robot can also help you shield your team a lot more effectively too. The way I see this robot being used is you're going to place it on your tanks to farm your ult quicker. And if you have a flanker in your team, you especially want to put them onto that, like put the robot onto him as well. Because you can make some disgusting plays with the bot. And I'm pretty sure like this bot doesn't really have a radius, or even if it does, it's super far. Like a Wolverine or like a Black Panther can go all the way out and then could still have the robot on them, still receiving healing and stuff like that. But however, if you just place this onto your tanks, you'll be able to farm your ultimate super quickly. And that's just like a little tip that I'm going to give you guys from now. Is because your front line is going to be taking damage constantly, and if you're just healing them constantly, they can't really destroy this robot as well. I don't think there's a way to destroy it. Yeah, it's also invincible, so that's also another good thing. I believe this isn't confirmed. That isn't confirmed. Just to be sure, you might be able to destroy this robot, but from what I've seen online and from all the videos, it doesn't seem like you can destroy it. If I'm wrong, please do correct. But that's another pro that I can see about this robot. So it's not the worst. Like, I get the issue that people are having, but don't let them discourage you. Like, especially if you've been looking forward to playing Ultron for a while, and if you're a support and you want to actually carry your games and be effective, you can do that with Ultron, and then there isn't a better support that you can do it with but Ultron, and I'm going to get into that towards the end of the video as well. So let's continue. So we spoke about all the abilities, we spoke about the healing drone and like all the pros and cons with them, and as you can see, he's just picking off these flyers super easily. Now granted, they're intentionally not moving, you know, that's not how the people in your games are going to move. They're not going to stand still and wait for you to shoot them. Okay, so yeah, it's going to be a little bit harder than that, but you get the point. Like, the whole point of this video is for you to understand how he plays, you know. So he activated that ability, shielded up all of his teammates, getting us some nice damage. Now the only issue I have with Ultron so far is this reload animation is very slow. I feel like they need to decrease the time of that. That is like, because he doesn't do enough damage for it to be that punishing. If he did so much damage, I'd be like, okay, cool, let's slow him down a bit. But this is like, he's kind of tickling them, like, not really tickling them, but like, he's not doing that much damage for him to be punished that much. I mean, I don't know, is he? But like, they're shooting him as well, so I can't really tell how much damage it does, but I don't think it's that much. Okay, now let's talk about his ultimate. So his ultimate, he summons a bunch of clones around himself, and if he shoots his allies, he heals them for a bunch of healing, and he could shoot and deal damage to enemies too. So it's either you shoot your allies and heal them, or deal damage to enemies. You have to pick. Pretty self-explanatory. Yeah, okay. So immediately by watching that, you could tell as well that the damage you do is not as much as the healing you do. And obvious reasons, he's a healer. A lot of people have complained about this ultimate showcasing how weak it is to enemies and dealing damage. Now, granted, you can tweak it. Sure, let's give Ultron a buff and make his ultimate do slightly more damage. However, for the love of God, what kind of a healer do you expect them to put into the game that has an ultimate that can just shred people like the Punishers or something? Like, I feel like that's what people expected and that's what people wanted. That's just not gonna happen, right? He should be focusing on healing more than dealing damage. His kit already, he's already got an infinite range beam. He's already got a hit scan shit going on. He's already got a carefree healing, right? I can see what they're saying about the lackluster and damage, like maybe slightly, but I wouldn't want them to buff it to the point where I got a DPS Ultron in my team. Like, you have to understand, if they lean too much into the DPS side of Ultron and his kit and like make him so OP in terms of damage and stuff like that, you're gonna have a horrible time in rank. I'm like in your rank games. I'm telling you that from now. Like, they're just gonna DPS. Also, another side note, right? All you DPS players, you better stay on DPS. The way you've been insta-locking DPS in my games, I hope you continue. Because when Ultron comes out, you're not allowed to play him. I don't care, bro. You're not allowed to play him. If you don't have at least 2 Lord icons as a healer on any healer or whatever you want, you are not allowed to play Ultron. I don't care. Leave this for the healers, okay? These are the healers. These are the healers that have suffered through your bullshit. When you guys are picking 3 to 4 DPS picks every game, and refusing to change and refusing to cooperate as a team, and they still stayed on healer, the Ultron is for those guys. Don't you dare pick Ultron, you prick. You know who I'm talking to. I know you're watching this video. Okay, let's go back to the ultimate. So the way you do this ultimate is going to be very simple. You first heal your team immediately because that's where your priorities are. You know, you should be healing your team and they're low on health, and you know who else but you is going to heal the team. You know, so that's where your ult should be used for. After you heal them, switch to a target, switch to a healer, switch to a carry that you want to focus on and like do damage to. You know, and I don't think it's going to be that hard for you to land your hits. Another pro about this ultimate is it shoots like exploding shots, so it's got like an AoE damage, sort of like Loki's hits. You know, where it's like a massive AoE. So like as you can see, he's like missing here. He's missing here, and he's still hitting the target. So that's another pro. The only cons are so far is that the heal bot might be healing a little bit less and the ultimate might be doing a little bit less damage. But all I'm saying to you guys is be careful for what you wish for. You do not want a DPS Ultron in your game. You don't want that meta. I'm telling you, you don't want it. That is Ultron and that is my thoughts. Now let's talk about where I think he fits into the meta and what he's going to do and how good he's going to be. Now granted, I do believe that they are going to need to tweak his numbers a little bit. But this is the same thing with Emma. Like right now they're tweaking Emma's numbers and Emma just got released, right? They're tweaking Emma's damage. They're nerfing her a bit. They will tweak Ultron too. If the damage numbers aren't right and if the healing numbers aren't right, they are going to tweak it. This isn't something to be super negative about or disappointed about. Just give it time. Time will heal everything, okay? I do believe he is going to be an amazing third healer. Now, hear me out. If we go for, right, the res comp of Rocket with Adam Warlock and Ultron, now I'm trying to cook something here. I might be completely failing, and then a Star-Lord, right? So the Star-Lord is going to res himself. The Adam Warlock is going to res himself. The Rocket got the res beacon. We got a lot of reses in the team because we need 3 healers and only 1 DPS. And I believe that the res comp is good because you only get 1 DPS with the Star-Lord. You know, I feel like that kind of works. So that's why I'm kind of going for that. And then if you get Ultron into that team comp as well, that's going to deal damage and help out with the healing. I feel like that could be a very broken comp. However, obviously, I'm just spewing shit right now. I don't know what comp's going to work. But however, what I do know is definitely not going to work is you going into your games with Ultron and you have a Loki as another healer, or if you have an Adam Warlock as another healer. Like Adam Warlock and Ultron ain't gonna work. They don't have enough healing. Adam's got burst healing and is on a very long cooldown, and Adam needs more love, but that's besides the point. And yeah, and Ultron doesn't do enough healing anyway. So yeah, he's like a third healer for sure. He isn't like maybe he could work with like a Sue Storm and a Luna or someone who offers like a lot of heals. I'm not too confident with his healing aspects is what I'm trying to say. When he does come out, if you are going to play with your friends and you do have a full team comp of 6 people or whatever, definitely say go for the free healer comp and to see what works around that and to avoid 100% a Jeff Ultron combo, a Adam Warlock Ultron combo, a Loki Ultron combo. You definitely want to avoid them for now because his healing numbers ain't the best and they probably are going to get tweaked. And as far as how you would play him, I already spoke about how you can use that heal bot, but in terms of how you can actually play him and how you can actually position with him, you're a flyer too. So that whole thing I said about the hits, you having a hit scan and taking down flyers, you're also a flyer. Hit scan target, hit scan enemies are also going to take you down super easily too. Now you do fly around quicker than they do, so once you do find that the Punisher is focusing you or the Hela, you can easily just fly back to your team, give yourself a shield. And I do feel like your survivability is much better than those other flyers, but just bear that in mind too. However, the fact that you're flying is not a negative. That's actually a super pro because characters like Magic, Magic, Wolverine, Black Panther, they're gonna have a harder time targeting you because you're in the air. You're simply not reachable. Mr. Fantastic, you know, you get the idea. The Thing, there's a lot of characters that's melee or that just don't have the range to hit you. Emma is another one. There's like, you know, immediately just by you flying and having good positioning, you're gonna be out of the range of a lot of targets anyway. So your survivability is already super high. And that's another thing that you need to consider too. This is a support that can fly. I feel like a lot of people are looking past that too. Now, he does get another healing ability with the Iron Man team up where he can shoot a beam that does damage and also heal his allies too. So that's like another healing aspect that he can have, but it's not into his base kit, so I'm not going to talk about that anymore. If you want to see it, you can search it online. I'm not a big enough channel to that gets paid enough to go through everything. I'm sorry. One of you virgins can link the video. No, I'm joking. Oh man, you need to play Ultron like a shadow. I want you to step outside when the sun is out, and I want you to look onto the ground. You will notice a shadow following. That is the way I would want you to follow your DPS that isn't a flanker. If your DPS is good, your DPS should focus targets that is not being pocketed. You know when a healer is pocketing someone, you cannot really kill them. Like, there's no point of you even doing damage to that person because the healer's just out healing your damage by a lot. There's no point, right? However, healers most of the time can only heal 1 to 2 targets at a time. And if your DPS is good and he catches someone that's out of position or that the healer's not aware of, if you both focus that target, like, you can one-shot him with your DPS in like about half a second or maybe even 1 second. That is the way I'm gonna play Ultron. I feel like you do have to move around a lot with Ultron. You might need to get a bit closer to your DPS and then back off all the way to your supports and to your backline to be safe. You are going to have to play around a lot like that. Just fluctuate between, you know, mid-range to then long range, mid-range to then long range, mid-range to then long range. Get into cover, get out of cover. You know, Iron Man players will kind of see something similar with Ultron too, so I don't think they will struggle. But then again, they are DPS players and they should stay the fuck away from healers. So yeah, that is my thoughts and opinions on Ultron. Let me know what you guys think about Ultron. Let me know if you're going to still play him. If you feel disappointed about his kit or anything like that, please do let me know. I would love to know. Or if you're like, hey, you know what, I don't care, I'm playing him anyway, or this is what I like about him, or if there's anything else that I missed out as well, please, you know, obviously, just do let me know. With all that being said, I hope you have enjoyed this video. You know what to do. Show the love, show the support. Until next time, I will see you guys later. Oh, and just in case you missed it, there's a cool Emma Frost video on my channel. I got Lord Emma Frost, one-tricked her, and then I one-tricked Rocket the season before, and then, you know, I got Lord Rocket, and then I got Lord Invis. You can check out the Invis guide too. Also got Lord Namor, which was my first hero that I made in one trick. So yeah, check out all these guides if you want. But yeah, take care.